thoughts about these players?
Well, I mean, the supports are always a crucial part of your team, and Hedan, whether he be playing Ana or Zenyatta, same with Aethan. No matter what they're playing, it seems as though they're making something happen, and Aethan in particular on Zenyatta the other day was just nutty. I mean, the guy was just crushing people with Zenyatta, and Hedan, of course, as you were saying, David, he's really getting some crucial sleep darts, biotic grenades, what have you, but really making things happen. Maybe not, you know, not as noticeable to the untrained eye as, you know, someone just going off on Tracer and getting 3 or 4 kills, but just as impactful he's able to make himself playing that support role.
And that selection between an Ana and a Zenyatta can be a simple thing in some ways, but a lot of it depends on compositions on both sides, right? Whether it fits into kind of what you're running. Zenyatta fitting into a dive comp in some situations because it's easier to get those heals out and they're far more consistent. So somebody like Genji basically just needs to keep the line of sight every once in a while also keeping away from the enemy, and it's sort of just a regeneration effect. But also, it depends on how many tanks or perhaps how many dive they're dealing with as well. Biotic, very effective for shutting down characters like Tracer and Genji when they get in the back because it doesn't have to be perfectly aimed. But not that Discord isn't on its own, but Discord especially good for taking down tanks. I mean, realistically, they're both great for tanks. And a lot of it, I believe, just has more to do with the synergy of the people that are on your team. But here we go, Luminosity trying to assault the first point here on King's Row.
Crew has got he's going to be on Mei, excuse me. Luminosity looking to make their push start right here, and indeed they will. Look at that. Mineral gets the opening pick on a Grim Reality. Agility strikes back with one of his own as he is able to pick up Crew. 5 versus 5 fight on the first point, and Icefeld is going to be on Tracer. We saw how effective he could be yesterday on Tracer. He will be a thorn in the side of Immortals, but here we go. Super Block gets charged in by Nami, and Spree is able to take down Nami then. So they trade yet again. The respawn's a bit closer for Luminosity. Pulse Bomb comes in off of Icefeld, and he cleans up Agilities, but Agilities and Hype were both able to get a couple on their own. Luminosity still are going to have the respawns filtering through here. And we'll see, they may have to go for a reset. Indeed, they will. Icefeld hiding out for now, waiting for the rest of his team to come back in.
Immortals doing a good job of not allowing Icefeld to get into the backline and get at those supports. Meanwhile, Luminosity already stepping on the point. Hype's going to have to go in with a self-destruct, trying to zone that area. Super Block's going to block it.
Yeah, Nami does take down Super Plock, and that is going to be a 5v4 fight. Make that 5v3 in favor of Luminosity. They are on the point, picking up all the kills that they need. There is going to be a sound barrier out for Immortals. I'm not sure as though they really needed to use that one.
I'm going to definitively say that was unnecessary, but the self-destruct, huge. It prevented that first tick even from Luminosity, so well placed there. Even if it only buys a few seconds, that first tick matters. Every single tick matters, as it takes a full 3 of those ticks for Luminosity to cap this first point. They're going to make another attempt here. Hype causing a lot of problems, flying right over the ice wall.
Verbo a little bit happy on his sound barrier there, but you have Icefeld in the back line, seeing if he can disrupt some of these supports a little bit, distract them, and give them a little run for their money. It's still a 66 fight on the point. There was a Blizzard use, and a sound barrier comes out from Luminosity, and they get us kicked off by getting Nami and Grim Reality Earth Shatter out from Super Block. That is 3 for Luminosity here. The Dragon Blade out from Agilities as he's seeing what he can find. It's 2 already. Make that 3 for Agilities. He's bringing Immortals back into this fight, but Luminosity still standing strong on the point. Agilities getting yet another one. 4 in total. But these respawns from Luminosity are coming through. They are standing on the point and getting that time. They're very close to a cap, and Grim Reality is caught in at the moment. The rest of his team will be following in behind him as they want to try and stop Luminosity from being able to cap here. Icefeld gets Nami. Grim Reality comes back. Icefeld getting 2. Luminosity will grab the first point, though, nonetheless, as they continue to press through the streets.
That's going to hurt Immortals going into the second point, sacrificing 2, but not getting the hold that they wanted out of it. Immortals holding on to attack visor, getting close to a self-destruct, but not much else. Barely over half. Luminosity depleted all of their ultimates, so Luminosity gonna have to push with nothing on their side. Attack visor, though, with a shield up in these street situations, Grim Reality is gonna have to find an angle to really make that work.
Now Immortals working their way back up to take this fight. That ice wall is in the way. D.Va couldn't get herself through there. They trade 1 for 1 so far. Both Reinhardts are out of the fight. It's a 1-player advantage for Immortals at the moment as Crew goes down, and Grim Reality is able to take care of him. He has attack visor at the ready. There's a self-destruct for Hype as well. Grim Reality taking down Mineral on top of all of that. So they'll stop Luminosity in their tracks as they come to regroup here. 2 minutes and 50 for them to make it to the next point.
Now Immortals holding onto a sound barrier, a Dragon Blade getting close to an Earth Shatter and a Nano Boost along with Attack Visor to self-destruct. They're going to have a full house on their side on defense. Meanwhile, Luminosity.
Oh, Grim Reality hiding in the back. He goes for the Attack Visor, but that big self-destruct out from Hype is able to get to Nami, and Grim Reality combined for a little more on top of that. And there's 2 up for Luminosity. It's time to regroup yet again as they all come out of the respawn queue. Very sneaky Attack Visor from Grim Reality out of the back. He didn't get a whole lot, but he certainly was a factor here, dealing quite a bit of damage. Able to pick up 2 throughout that fight. So here we go, right back into it as they want to go for yet another one. There will be a blizzard out from Crew, seeing who will get caught in the middle of that. Nami and Verbo among the victims so far for Luminosity. Agilities got Ice Felt, and they're still duking it out on the card as Hype is in, and he is given Super Block a little bit of a run for his money. I think Hype doesn't have too much company around him though, as Agilities and Ethan both get finished off, and now Hype is ejected out. He is quickly dispatched of, and Luminosity will continue to move this cart through the streets.
Immortals burning 4 ultimates on that second to last hold, definitely coming back to haunt them there as Luminosity getting a lot more momentum into the second point. They're holding on to a Pulse Bomb, a Nano Boost, getting close to a Sound Barrier. They already have a Graviton. Look for that Graviton from Spree connecting with the Pulse Bomb from Icefell to really open up this next point for Luminosity.
Ooh, Earth Shatter coming out from Nami. He got a lot of players down on that one, but Nami in the end is able to go down. Here comes the, oh my goodness, the Graviton in with the Pulse Bomb as well. Picks up 2. There's another 2 from Crew and Spree. Luminosity finding all of the frags that they need to take this second point. They will roll through, and now they have 2 minutes and 20 seconds in total to get to last. And look at this, they're playing aggressive forward, Luminosity. They've even been able to stagger a couple kills on top of that, which is great news for them.
Immortals holding onto a self-destruct. That will be enough to, if it lands directly on the card, buy them a little bit of time, but really barreling ultimates and the rest of it. Luminosity, meanwhile, with an Earth Shatter, that can open up this point if they're able to get it around Nami.
The Crew puts his wall down, self-destruct in from Hyped, and there will be an Earth Shatter for Super Block. Only Ethan got caught in it, but hey, that is a frag nonetheless. You take that any day. So here we go. They are moving forward. It's 3 in total for Luminosity. It's a 6v3 at the moment. That respawn of Immortals, though, is very close. So those players will be coming back out. Look at this. Grim Reality switched over to Bastion as well, looking for the sneak play maybe out this left-hand side. Keep an eye on him as he will be setting up in the back. He has D.Va in front of him just mowing these guys down. They will not have too much room to be able to push themselves through. They're putting pressure onto Grim Reality, but now that they know that that he's sitting in the back there, they'll have to be a little bit more careful. Maybe something to come through to counter him, because it will be quite difficult if you don't have something to deal with it. Icefelt goes down. Ethan was able to get us started. Luminosity just going to bring themselves back. Let's see how they plan to deal with this Bastion if Grim Reality stays on it.
They waited out his configuration tank, and Luminosity will now mount another push. Last time they slept him, it looks like they're still trying to look for those angles there, but Immortal's going to have to invest a lot of resources to keep Bastion up. Meanwhile, Luminosity holding on to 3, almost 4 ultimates. Just looking for their position here. Super Block buying time, not letting his shield go down, using the cart as primary cover here, and that wall going right in front of Bastion.
Look at that, putting the wall down. There's a Dragon Blade out from Agilities. Hedan is the first to fall to that one. They're trading back and forth. It is a 5v4 fight in favor of Immortals thus far, though. Maybe getting the better end of it as Ethan gets Super Block as well. Things not looking good for Luminosity. It's time to back up. Crew is also going to be staggered a bit, and there's only 25 seconds for Luminosity, so they need to regroup quickly and get a push on in here.
Nano boosted May, perhaps a mistake there, perhaps a plan just not working out. 3 ultimates still on the side of Luminosity as they have a Graviton Pulse Bomb lined up here. Earth Super Block getting close to an Earth Shatter and a Sound Barrier. They do have all the pieces they need as they push into this final point again.
They switch Crew over to the Genji to try and deal with that Bastion, and time is almost up though. They're going to have to get in on it. Here comes the, oh my goodness, the Graviton Surge. Grim Reality is going into his ultimate. He's able to get 2. Icefelt able to get a couple himself as well. So we're tied up in a 4v4 fight. Respawn starting to come through, and they are just scrapping it out on the cart for the time being. Luminosity needs to win this fight. They need to keep a body on the cart. Be careful. My goodness, it almost went down to the wire, but there's still bodies there. Agility's working his way back around in that big pack room. Spree goes down. Luminosity really needs to find the kills here. Just keep this cart moving. Now, as Agilities is really causing a disturbance, Nami on the cart as well, just swinging away, and Super Block taking him into the wall. There goes Nami, but the exchange from Agilities able to take him down. Luminosity coming very close to being able to finish this one off. There's a pulse bomb out from Icefelt, getting Agilities. Ethan Crew cleans up on a Verbo as well. Icefelt with a third one nonetheless. My goodness, Luminosity in the end able to edge it out and get the final point in overtime, but they did get all three. And you love that if you're a Luminosity fan.
Oh, that was a war to take that final point. Agility's doing so much work to try and hold on to it. Here we see again the cap on the second point, that nice Pulse Bomb Graviton lineup, taking out two people along with Crew, letting Luminosity get into that final point past the second one. Immortals looked like they might hold there for a second. I thought they'd pull a Luminosity on Luminosity.
Man, I thought they had it for sure. Luminosity were able to get themselves back onto the point though, and well, they do cap it. It was in overtime, but they do get the cap. Let's see what Immortals can bring out on their offense as they switch over to that side, and thus far they are showing a quad tank setup. We'll see if they decide to stick with it, but they do have the quad tank and Agilities on that Roadhog, which we know he can do some pretty amazing things on. And Luminosity, in terms of what they want to do, well, we'll have to see yet as they work their way up to the first point for the defense.
Given how well Luminosity is held against other teams, Immortals trying to attack this point is going to be a tall order, especially trying to save some extra time in the bank if they do make it all the way, which certainly is not off the table. A lot of teams familiar with King's Row, as that is one of the most played maps in Overwatch in general. Luminosity stepping onto the point. They are indeed running the 4 tank setup, heat on, sticking on Ana here. Meanwhile, Immortals yet to lock in. They will have 20 seconds to keep playing mind games with us in particular. Yeah, Ethan, I do not believe you're Pharah. I'm not that gullible. Thank you very much. If you'd like to switch to Zenyatta, that would be neat to watch, I'm sure. But Ana, you know, we'll call it Ethan's choice.
Yeah, you know, we'll see. I'm thinking it's gonna be Hey,
that
looks a little more.
The heal potential's insane.
Yeah. Looks a little more normal for Immortals as they start their offensive side. The biotic grenade landing on top of all of them, giving Heat-In a nice 20% of ult charge right out of the gate. As Hyped already starting to create some space for Immortals as he flies into the cluster of Luminosity players on the point, and Spree is the first to go down here. Agility is already making his presence known, getting the hook in onto Mineral as well. Agilities picks up 2 for Immortals off the start of this fight. Luminosity is in dire straits right now. Agility's another one. Look at this pull-in, taking down Heat-In as well. Agility's going off on this first point, allowing Immortals to cap on their very first push.
It's almost 40 seconds. That's just crazy.
Cow,
Did not expect that to be happening there, but that huge pull onto Minerals really opens things up for Immortals. Agilities just constantly being a force to be reckoned with. Pivotal moments every time that guy plays.
Man, that was just disgusting. I mean, of course, he had the help of his teammates. Hype did a good job of creating space.
It was so far. That had to be max distance.
Yeah, that was so far away and still making it happen, though. Here we go. Hype yet again will be creating a bit of space for them, and Agility's using that whole hog, blasting players all over the place. Super Block first to go down as Nami takes care of him pretty easily, and here is the nano boost in onto the Reinhardt as he sends himself forward. Nami swinging away. Him and Verbo combined to pick up a couple of players, and Grim Reality and Ethan as well. Immortals is in full flow right now through this Streets phase in first point.
Immortals definitely caused a lot more problems by this point for Luminosity. Luminosity gonna have to put together a much stronger defense on the third point than perhaps many teams are even capable of, but considering how well we've seen Luminosity defend up until this point in other games, I would expect they could be able to get it together here. They are getting close to 3 ultimates on their side. Meanwhile, Immortals with 2, almost 3 themselves.
Here we go, self-destruct will be coming on in from Hyped, and Agility's getting us started yet again as he gets Super Block. Ethan gets Crew as well. There was a Graviton surge out from Grim Reality, and Immortals is just blowing through Luminosity on the second point. It's good. I'm glad to see Luminosity didn't use really much of anything in terms of ultimates. I don't think, not maybe Icefelt, but besides that, they didn't really use anything. You don't want to invest too much on holding that second point if you're on the defense, because you need to have things to work with as you go into holding last point, but we are going and gearing up for another fight here as the ice wall comes out. There will be a nano boost in onto Super Block as he continues swinging away. There's a blizzard as well. Big Earth Shatter. There's 2 caught inside of that. Agilities and Verbo amongst the victims. Grim Reality gets Mineral, but still Luminosity has the advantage in this fight. It's a 5v4. We'll see if they can continue to clean up. No, Immortals comes back as they take down Spree, so they are still in this one. As they're hanging out by the cart, they do have Icefelt lurking around behind him as he gets ejected from his suit, and he takes down Nami right before that happens. So Immortals trying to work back in a little bit here as they start to add some pressure onto the cart.
Immortals almost with a Graviton. They have a Sound Barrier and Nano Boost, getting close to a Whole Hog. Not too far away from a Self-Destruct and definitely closer with an Earth Shatter. They were looking close to a full deck over here. Meanwhile, Luminosity with 2, barely 3. This is going to be a tight situation for Luminosity.
Here we go. There's just a cluster here. Look at that. Earth Shatter does pick up 1 inside of it. The Whole Hog from Agility's in the back. 1 player advantage for Immortals at the moment. Hedan goes down. It will be a 5v5 fight for now. Agility's battling it out with Crew here, and Zach Crew is getting a little bit of a piece of him, but here's Immortals. They've got 2 from Nami, 2 from Hype, 4 down for Luminosity, and Immortals looking to finish this map off. They still have 4 minutes in total to work with, and they might be able to get all 4 points here. They still will have a second half to this, but here we go. Another Graviton Surge will keep the Luminosity players over towards that spawn. 2 players down. Look at that. Immortals able to just swing it all the way on through in their offense. Luminosity almost had someone there in time, but they make it happen, and we'll be switching sides yet again. A lot of time in the time bank for Immortals.
Luminosity so close to getting Crew's Blizzard on that point, which could have turned the tables, but Immortals keeping so much momentum going into it. Immortals looking strong on King's Row.
Look at Agilities, man. He just opened this point wide open. I mean, ripped it open for Immortals. Coming up big, getting even that hook onto Hedan, man. I think that was, is that 4 in total for him on that point?
It's the power of Roadhog DPS.
Man, that's what we were talking about, man. Agilities can do some pretty nutty stuff, and you just saw a piece of it right there. So we will be going back to a Luminosity defense, and Immortals will be on the offense yet again. They have 354 in the time bank. That is a lot for them to work with, and I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough for Luminosity as they had to get all 3 of their points into overtime. But if we take a look at what they have on the defensive side for composition, you have Crew back on Zarya. They will be running this quad tank setup again.
All Immortals has to do here is cap the first point, and they will be the victors of King's Row here against Luminosity. Putting Luminosity a step back, they'll have to take map 2, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. Luminosity, a team we've seen defend quite well before. If they can put together a better defense than the first time, Immortals might just tie this map.
Quad tank for Immortals, as well as they want to try and go through Hotel again. They're doing the exact same thing. Oh, Agility's got the hook onto Mineral, but he got stuck on the wall. Couldn't quite convert on the pick, but there it is. Nami going down first, and Hyped is able to get Spree off of the return, and the trade 1-for-1. 5v5 fight on the point. Luminosity really needs to hold here, or they're going to be in some deep, deep trouble. Agilities gets yet another hook. He's in a bit of trouble himself, though, as he's hanging around 100 health, and he may get finished off, getting healed up just in time, though. Self-destruct flying across onto the point. The picks are coming through for Immortals here. Super Block and Hedan both going down, and it's looking pretty solid. That's 3 out of it. Make it 4. Grim Reality doing some big stuff on Zarya right now. That's 4 in total for him, I believe, on this point. And Agility's also combining in that as he gets the nano boost. Grim Reality going forward, just melting players right now, and that will be it. Look at that. Immortals taking it 4-3 on King's Row.
Agility's a total standout hero for that entire map.
Yeah,
that was incredible. We talked about him at the beginning of how he was going to be a flex player that was going to be very, very important. We saw him play Genji and Roadhog. We didn't see him play any Roadhog yesterday, but holy cow, we've been talking about great Roadhog players all season long, and we need to be talking about Agilities.
Yeah, man, this guy is really, he's made a fan out of me because he's just been doing some just crazy stuff. I mean, you saw him on that first point take, I think 4 kills for him, something like that, just getting hooks like max range and pulling these guys back in. Really impact player for them.
Agilities with 22,000 damage done on Roadhog, 23% of his team's damage. Grim Reality following up there, though, with 57% kill participation.
Yeah, Grim Reality's another guy to keep an eye out on too. You know, whether he's playing, I mean, McCree. That's something that they do like to pull out a lot. We may get to see it at some point, so keep an eye on it. But throughout much of this, he was using Zarya and was using it quite effectively, really. Especially on that last point take as they were coming out on the victory of King's Row. I think he picked up 3 or 4 himself, so still a brilliant player.
With both Roadhog and Zarya being capable of so much damage, it's no surprise to see DPS players coming over and playing them in the current meta as it stands, especially, you know, the Roadhog Zarya, not just because of the DPS, but also because, well, certainly DPS most. I mean, they're DPS players, but the aim potential, I mean, the more you can track with Zarya, the more damage you're going to do, the better you can land those hooks. Roadhog is just absolutely insane. What, 220 DPS combined?
Something like that. It's a lot.
Absolutely, and we talked yesterday so much about Luminosity's defense and how that was such an important part, a pivotal part of what was able to carry them all the way to that Game 5. And then in this game, we didn't see it as much. We didn't see it them standing up in the way that we used to see them, or we saw them yesterday. So what was the difference? What did Luminosity do differently yesterday that maybe they need to bring in today, or what was the mistake they made today?
You know what? I'm not sure of what exactly the thing to pinpoint was. It just yesterday, I don't know if they were just a little more connected. They felt in their element. Not that they're playing badly per se today. I don't think they're playing awful or anything. But yesterday, they were definitely on a very high level that we haven't, at least I haven't seen them quite in the past. So, you know, Luminosity still, I think they're very much in this game. We'll have to see as we head to the next map.
Well, definitely going into this, Luminosity is under less pressure than Immortals. Immortals needing to perform as best as they can to ensure that they get in. Meanwhile, Luminosity feeling pretty safe. Yesterday, they were on the fence. They were looking for that chance to one-shot straight in there. But right now, I mean, they're definitely not gonna relax. But that same kind of we've got to do it right now pressure just isn't being placed on them. I expect them to go into maybe Nepal next, or yeah, I'd say probably Nepal.
It is Nepal. Nepal is map number 2. Called it there. And so, Luminosity on the ropes here. If they lose this one, they're going home for today, but will still qualify for the Overwatch Winter Premiere. Immortals trying to get that last spot.
Nepal it is. Luminosity still very much in it. They played a heck of a game yesterday. Oh, hello. Well, as quickly as we joined it, we're going to have to wait a minute. So, hello again.
Hello again.
We're back.
So Nepal. Let's talk about Nepal. We saw it yesterday some. We're going to see it again here. The control point maps being a favorite of the pro players. Who does this favor in this situation? We have Immortals, Luminosity. Luminosity coming off of the loss there. Again, not necessarily as much to play for in the situation as Immortals do. Well, how do you feel this one's going to be going?
I'd like to say I kind of like Luminosity going in here, whether that's, you know, I feel pretty good about them with Icefelt playing Tracer. I think he can do some pretty mean work here. Yeah, crew playing Genji, or he can even be on Zarya. Of course, we know the guy can play a lot of different things, so I feel pretty good about them coming on here, but Grim Reality and Agilities can also be pretty big factors in the DPS department on a thing like King of the Hill or even May. So
similar potential on both sides, realistically, but Agility's playing so hot right now. I mean, I can't pick away from Immortals at the moment.
Okay. So we talked about Agility's playing great. We talked about Crew at the beginning and how strong he was. We talked about that list of players, the list of heroes he likes to play. Who do you expect him to pull out here on Nepal?
Who, Agilities?
Crew. May, Pharah, Tracer, Zarya,
Winston,
Soldier.
I mean, so far it's looking like he's showing that May, and that makes sense because this stage of Nepal is very good.
Yeah, we saw him and Nicholas from Complexity going back and forth and using those walls in very, very important ways yesterday, talking about how turning one sideways in one of those gate situations can prevent the enemy May from blocking it off from you. A good tactic on a number of maps. Certainly important when you're fighting over a single point and every single percentage matters. You know, in a lot of situations, you can kind of wait out that wall and then you don't have to be worried about a tank getting isolated. But we'll hold on to that conversation later as Nami comes crashing into Luminosity.
Immortals the ones playing very aggressive here, and it's going to pay off for them. Grim Reality and Agilities, Nami included, all pick up 1 kill apiece. And that will put Luminosity back into the respawn queue as Immortals really just plowed straight into them onto the high ground. Luminosity never got themselves out there very much on top, and now they will just run straight over to the point and get the cap first.
Immortals. Not honestly a very long enough fight to generate a lot of ultimates, but Grim Reality getting very close. Ethan is playing Zenyatta. Keep an eye on him. He is a joy to watch play that character. Luminosity, crew on Genji, Icefelt on Dracer. The same dive comp potential that we've seen in the past. Meanwhile, crew looking for a pick on Ethan.
Oh, crew, yes, Ethan. He's getting a little impatient there. Decided to shoot at him, but there was the reflect up. Crew gets taken down right after by Agilities, who's on that Mei. So we are traded up. It is a 5 versus 5, and Grim Reality's all over Hedan. Gets that biotic grenade put on him. He'll have to rewind for a second as he starts to duke it out on the point. Puts the pulse bomb down, but everybody able to avoid it. There will be a blizzard down here as well, as Immortals looking as if they are coming on top of this fight yet again. There's still 5 players up for them and 3 down for Luminosity. They will stay in control. They're at 50% and counting.
Hedan holding on to a nano boost. Icefelt with a pulse bomb. Spree still working on his graviton to connect those two. Meanwhile, crew getting close to a dragon blade, perhaps a nano blade and a double bomb combo going to be coming out. Immortals holding on to 3 of their own, getting close to a transcendence on Ethan, but they do have a self-destruct, an earth shatter, and a sound barrier. A lot of defensive potential there.
Here comes the earth shatter out from Nami, and Immortals starting it off yet again. They are in a 5 versus 4 at the moment with that 1 player advantage. Icefelt, that pulse bomb locked and loaded, ready to go. Has to rewind for a second. Super Block goes down. Now Icefelt just sitting in the back. He'll have to wait it out here as Immortals are still in control of this. They are at 90%. Luminosity needs to regroup quickly, or they're going to be in some trouble. Immortals doing a good job of staying up on this high ground. They get the wall off to get the separation of players here. Agility's already against Icefelt. This is bad news for Luminosity. Hype gets super blocked, and here comes the sound barrier out of Immortals. Nano blade on the side of Luminosity, but it may be too little too late. Nobody was on the point. Crew gets Agilities, but it's all for naught as Immortals taking our first stage of Nepal.
Agilities, man. Agilities.
Agilities. Agilities. Turns out he can do some pretty cool stuff on Mei as well. But guy can do it all. Definitely a talented player himself. And now it is time for Luminosity to kick it into high gear, or they could be getting sent home in today's qualifier. It could be Immortals moving on to play Fnatic in the grand finals. So we'll have to see. Still in it. They can reverse sweep this map and get 2 of the stages back. They are very much in it, but as far as compositions go, Icefelt staying on Tracer. Crew will be on Mei. Spree on the Zarya this time. No Roadhog is going to be out for Luminosity on this fight. So I have to see. That's going to give Agilities a lot of openings. Super Block still is on Reinhardt, so that shield will be in the mix, but they're all fighting it up on the high ground here. Over at Pillars, and look at this yet again. My goodness. They are going to be tearing through them. Immortals just getting a full-out wipe to start the fight off, and they will get control of the point yet again.
Luminosity falling to Immortals as Immortals taking that first point, generating their percentage. Right now, neither team really looking all that much higher than the other in the Ultimate Economy, but Grim Reality here on McCree, trying to get some shots. Oh, never mind, here comes Luminosity.
Grim Reality breaking out that McCree, as he is quite talented on it. You see him do it from time to time, maybe trying to shut down Icefelt as well. So Immortals have moved themselves to the point. Hedan's the first victim. Immortals, there's just nothing that Luminosity can do right now. They have already gotten 3 frags themselves, and Luminosity are just dropping like flies between Agilities, Hyped, and Grim Reality sitting there in the back and dealing damage. It's just easy pickings for them right now. They're at just about 40%, and Immortals will have a sound barrier, almost a whole hog. They have an earth shatter, self-destruct, all sorts of stuff, and there is the aggressive earth shatter that is coming out. Grim Reality and Nami both cleaning up Crew, Spree, and Super Block as they were left laying on the ground, and Nami getting sent forward with the nano boost as well. Immortals using a couple of ultimates there, but they will still have 4 in the bank in total, and a good use, or a good management of this, and you can see Luminosity still behind in the ult economy.
Luminosity holding on to a pulse bomb, an earth shatter, getting close to a nano boost. Meanwhile, Immortals with a self-destruct, a whole hog, a sound barrier, and a high noon.
There we go. Icefelt is in the mix. Self-destruct coming out. There is an earth shatter as well. Grim Reality with the Deadeye in the back. Got Icefelt, and Nami finding Mineral. Hedan strikes back with 1. 5v4 in favor of Immortals, but still the picks are going their way. It's incredible. They're hanging on to it, and Super Block dying there in the end. Grim Reality snipes Spree as he's falling to his death. My goodness. Immortals at 90%. Luminosity It's going to have to get someone to the point here very quickly. Icefelt is going to be the one to look for Luminosity as he is going to be regrouping. He is just about to come through drop down. He wants to get there at the last second and give his team time to come and join him on the fight. Grim Reality shuts him down right away. The drop down Immortals up 2 picks already, 6 versus 4. Mineral striking back. Nami goes down, but Athan gets super blocked in the end. It is not looking good for Luminosity as they really need to start finding frags now or they are going to be sent home in the qualifier. They do have a lot of time down on this point, but Immortals players are just all over the place and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do. Icefelt is on it for now, stalling, but Grim Reality shuts him down again, and Immortals will be moving on here. Very solid performance on Nepal.
It was quite the handy defeat that they are able to hand them there. We have seen 4 games so far on day number 2 of the Overwatch Winter Premiere. Quick 2-0s in both of our semifinals.
Yeah, really, we're not used to seeing that.